What's up, beautiful souls? Your boy Loon is back with another Reddit read, and today we are on one of the cult classics on this channel, r/NotHowGirlsWork. It's been like 2 weeks since we've dove into this, so I thought, why not? It's always a fun time, and for those of you guys that don't know, this subreddit is full of, as the title says, posts on not how girls work, because it's just not how they work. And oftentimes it's from guys, but every now and then it's from women too. So it's gonna be a cringy, goofy ride. I'm excited to show you guys what I have in store. But yeah, real quick, if you guys are new to the channel and you enjoy this video, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button. We've been growing at an insane rate. I wanna hit 13,000 subscribers. That's the next goal. It would mean the world to me if you guys help me towards that. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into this. All right, first one up, the title says Bunkmates and Bellagio with no action. Okay. So the guy, the original post says husband of the year gets called out on his misogyny. So we got a dude here who tweets out, just packed for Vegas when my wife hits me with, I just got my period. Now I'm debating, do I drop $2,000 to be bunkmates at the Bellagio with no action and overpriced room service, or fake a work emergency and let her take one of her single friends instead? Married guys will get it. Single people don't judge. What do you do? Or what would you do? What? How are you married? First off, like, I feel so bad for your wife, dude. If you're with someone who is only thinking of you in that manner, like as a literal object, because he's literally objectifying her. She's not even like a real human connection friend of his. Like, that's actually insane. How did you even get married? How is this guy married? I'm just so baffled. The poor woman. Like, that is an insane thing to think, let alone put out in the space that is internet. And how has your wife not seen this too? Like, are you gonna be shocked if she sees this and she's like done with the whole marriage? Because that's insane. What would I do? I would hope that I would marry to a woman that I do not just value cuddles from, someone that I genuinely want to hang out with, because that's the whole point of having a wife. Like, that's supposed to be like one of your best friends, if not your best friend. Actually, no, that is supposed to be your best friend, because that's your wife. That's who you're gonna be with for the rest of your life. Yeah, what would I do? I wouldn't even have to be in this scenario, because I would never think of this. This is insane. I can see this if it's someone that you're talking to, like literally not even dating. I'm talking about talking phase. Like, you're just casually seeing, then you're debating something like this, but this is your wife. Okay. Anyways, someone responds on Twitter and says, yeah, you should absolutely back out and let her take someone who views her as a person rather than a whole that is out of service. Thank God. Okay. At first I was like, back out? What? Okay. So yeah, I agree. Like, she deserves to be with someone who does not objectify her and does not just put her to that of a whole. Like, that is insane. And someone comments, other alternatives, go with the wife and try to talk to her, building the relationship. That might be a little bit too much for this guy. I don't think he has the intellect to do this one. But the second one would be file for divorce, as obviously the wife deserves better and she has not yet to realize it. Yeah, that's insane. Third secret option, let the wife go alone and enjoy herself. Happy cake day. Yeah, that's insane. I can't believe this is real. This has to be almost like rage bait, because that's baffling. Wow. All right, this next one, I'm gonna blur little bits of it, but I'm gonna try to do my best to keep the most of it in. So it says, word of the day, consent. Someone tweets out or threads out, I don't know, I think this is Twitter. They tweet out, girls who like to be choked and hit during cuddles are also the same ones who cry when you yell at them. How does that correlate at all? Like, that doesn't make it. What? Those are two completely different things. What you do in bed consensually is very different than an argument. That is, what? I don't even understand this guy's argument. And then someone comments and says, yeah, they like to be sexually dominated, not verbally abused. There's a difference, son. Exactly. Thank God. Someone had to say it. And it was a guy who said that. Thank God. And also, not all women are subs. I've encountered a little bit of both. You know, we'll just say that. But yeah, I mean, like, that's what you do in the bedroom is so different than literally like yelling at somebody. What? Just because a girl wants to be a submissive in bed, consensually, of course, how does that mean that you could just yell at them? And vice versa. It could be a guy too. We could switch the scenario. If a guy likes to be a sub, right? Why would he be into, and when you're in an argument, her just yelling at you? The difference really truly is consent. That is crazy that these guys do not understand that. All right, this next one says, don't have expectations, accept men how they are. We're not your fathers. Now please be our mommies. Okay, this one sounds funny. All right, we got a long post here. It's on Reddit. Someone says, I think you should have a relationship with a woman because you expect a man to react and think like a woman. Wait, what? I don't know what it is about that phrase, but that was weird. Our neural structure is not the same as women's. It can't be. So you are wrong to have expectations. Accept men as they are because that's who we are. Pretending to take care of you is also very boring. Don't make us pretend because we're not women. Women like to pretend? What? If you want to be with a man, don't expect attention. It's not in our nature. Our brains don't work that way. Dude, speak for yourself. If I'm actually interested in someone, I'm gonna give them attention. What? Why wouldn't I? This is weird. He kind of seems like he's just speaking out of his booty hole and not knowing what he's saying. If we asked you to think superficially, not insensitive and detailed like men, could you do it? No, you can't because you are women. This is weird. It's almost like he's talking to them as if they're a different species. Stop being a princess. We're not your fathers. We can never care as much as your father. Speak for yourself, brother. I would hope that women are looking for a husband or, deem husband material as somebody who does care for them. It doesn't have to be in the same way as your father because that can be a little weird, but they should care as much, if not more, right? Like what? That's going to be hard because some great fathers out there, that's like a high standard, but you should at least try to match that vibe. It's our nature. This is our physiology and a neurology. Accept it. This guy is a huge old dummy. This does not make us indifferent. It doesn't make us irresponsible. It doesn't make us bad husbands. It can. If you're not giving your wife attention and you don't care about them, that is literally two things that make you a bad husband, and bad boyfriends and bad men. Stop asking us to be something we cannot be. Stop judging us with your own feminine prejudice and feminine rules. See, this is what differentiates guys that probably won't get a great wife versus a guy who will, because I know a lot of dudes that are the opposite of this. I mean, like some of my best guy friends, this is going to baffle this guy, right? But they care about women. They care about their girlfriends. They care about their wives. Whoa, they give them attention. No way. It's not in our physiology. What do you mean? Yeah, what the hell did I even just read? I love when dudes are like, we don't think like women. And they're just describing having the bare minimum of human decency. Yeah, I want attention too. When I'm in a relationship, I want a girl to care about me. What the hell is he even talking about? That's crazy. Anyways, he's been around enough women in his life to know is the title of this next one. All right, I don't know how, but we're in a TikTok with a dog, a cute ass dog's face. And the comment says, sorry, but what the hell was in the trash? And then Abigail here says, because they go there. What the fuck? And then, he said, why the hell was it in the trash? Sorry, why was it in the trash? And then she says, because they go there. I've been around enough women in my life to know that a bloody tamp shouldn't be flushed down the toilet, LMAO. Nothing with bodily fluid should go in the trash. Oh, he said should be flushed down the toilet? Oh, you have not been around women. You should know that you shouldn't flush a tampon. I know that. What? That's how you clog toilets. That's not even like a girl. That's just like an actual thing you're supposed to know. What? All right, then Abigail goes, babe, tampons expand and literally clog toilets. You're supposed to throw them away. That's why they have the many trash cans in women's restrooms. What the fuck? Yeah, have you never seen have you ever been to singular bathroom, one that's shared with women and men, or unisex, I said, or whatever. Oh, I don't know the terminology, but the restrooms where anyone can go in, right? And they have those little boxes that says, womenly or disposed womenly things and tampons. You've never seen those? That's kind of insane. What? Maybe it's just because I grew up with women, but even then, you going out in public, you see that. How do you not know? And then he goes, it doesn't expand more than the normal amount of toilet paper after a poop, LMAO. Are you actually stupid? Toilet paper rips apart and it actually disintegrates. Well, to a degree, but what? Are you've definitely been around enough women in Minecraft, because you do not know. And then, for context, it says found on a TikTok joking about a dog eating a tamp from the trash. Oh, okay, that makes a lot of sense. But still, what? This dude has been through around 0 women. The fact that you don't know that is actually kind of baffling. You would be surprised how many women also do not know they cannot flush. Yeah, that's why there's signs in every bath. We have signs in my nail salon. We have to make sure people do not do that, because it's a whole hassle having to like get a plumber out, unclog. It's a whole thing. Hi. All right, this one says intelligence is a nice word. Okay. We're on some forum and it says, what is the evolutionary historic reason why women aren't attracted to intelligence? Surely intelligence helped the hunting group get a juicy mammoth. Wait, what? Who said women aren't attracted to intelligence? Where are you getting, what is the study that you have found and conducted? Because in my knowledge from the women that I've talked to in my life, more times than not, I mean, I'm sure not all women, but like majority of the women I've talked to have valued intelligence. It might not be their number one quality. Some of them it is their number one, but it's usually in their top 5 or 10 thing that they're looking for. And then someone responds to that saying, women are attracted to actual intelligence, how to succeed in life, not intelligence. What? The memory of one's entire Pepe folder and strategic knowledge of how Germany could have won World War II. I don't know if that's intelligence either. Intelligence is very vast. Like there's so many forms of intelligence. There's emotional intelligence. There's actual like book smarts. There's street smarts. There's so many things, right? And I think intelligence as a whole is an attractive trait in a human being in general, women or men. I mean, in my eyes, I think it's very attractive. Because for me, it's very much in a standpoint of like, why would I not want to be with someone that at least, if not matches my energy, challenges me to learn and grow? That's just my mentality. I know some people out there genuinely just don't like someone who's smarter than them, because I don't know if it comes from like insecurity or what, but I kind of find it weird to be with someone who, I find it boring, not weird. It's just boring when someone isn't intelligent, because then I'm like, what do we talk about? Like at that point, you know? I don't know. That's just my thoughts. But what do I know? I'm just a boy. Hunting mammoths required cooperation and effort. Those are 2 things incels don't seem capable of. That's actually funny. Oh, man. All right. Next. This is the difference between loneliness between men and women. Okay. We have some type of TikTok or meme or something, but we are the more emotional, quote unquote, gender. Women experiencing loneliness. We have a girl and it says, I will start a community for women in my city called something like Lonely Girls Club, and it'll have an Instagram and a cute pink logo, and we'll meet up every month in cafes and start book clubs. Men experiencing loneliness. I will become right wing. What? That's not a thing. I mean, some guys maybe, but I mean, okay, I guess the deeper, well, let's read this and then I'll give you guys my thoughts. When men are lonely, most of them become misogynistic and blame women for their loneliness because they cannot deal with their weakness. I think that's kind of a generalization. I think some men, yes, like the incels that we do see, I can agree with, but not all men. Like whenever I go through my lonely stints, I kind of just talk to my friends and hang out with my friends a lot. And we do not have deep relationships, but when women are lonely, they will search for themselves and find friendships. This society, see, I do that. And the society has already become individualistic, but because they rely so much on technology, women will not go to extremes like men. Okay, so I kind of understand what they're trying to say. It is kind of generalizing for men. I don't think all men are like this, but I guess if you look at like incel culture, yeah, for sure. Now, the whole point of the meme, I know it's hyperbolic, but it is true. I think men oftentimes, we don't really help each other out. Whenever you see another guy that's struggling, you don't, as a guy, oftentimes, I see this with my guy friends a lot of times. Honestly, it's a little sad. My real guy friends, like my really close guy friends, they do have very good emotional intelligence. They wouldn't be close to me if they didn't. And they can usually acknowledge when I'm going through something or when one of the guys is going through something, and they're there for them. Even if it's in their own like dude way of like, hey, like, why don't you come over and watch the game or something? You know, like that's nice. And then there is a little bit of a community, like kind of like how women do that. But I will say majority of men, if you're not at that very, very close level, they're either one, too shy to admit that they're lonely, or too like, oh, I'm a dude, I can't admit that. Or two, when they do admit it, their friends are kind of like, well, you're a dude, you'll figure it out, kind of thing. And that's sad, because like I will say I have a close friend group that, you know, we're kind of not close anymore. And to be honest, some of it has to do with, well, I don't know the reasonings and the depth of it, but I know for sure that I feel like they don't really care about me personally, and so I'm kind of okay with cutting them out. I don't know. I've been feeling that way. This has been an ongoing thing for the last like year or two, and I've known these guys for like 20 plus years. There's a couple of them that I'm very close to, but some of them I'm just kind of like, at this point, if they don't show interest in caring about me, why do I care about them? You know, I don't know. Not everyone in life is gonna like you, and so I understand that. But that's a whole nother tangent. But yeah, I think the guy community, we need to not be so stern on the fact that men are men. Like, no, I mean, guys also need some form of friendship and care too, for sure. And like, I know historically speaking, guys have always been the more, you know, we don't need a community, we'll figure it out ourselves. But that's also why men's mental health is becoming such a prominent topic now. Someone commented, I think the difference is women actually do seek connection when they feel this way. Men can often blame those around them for the loneliness and turn resentful and hateful. Yeah, sometimes, yeah, for sure. That's why incels have a higher population than femcells and stuff like that. I mean, incels is predominantly men because, you know, this is a thing. So I can understand why the generalization is becoming a thing. Women are also more likely to seek therapy and speak about it to a doctor. That is a huge thing. A lot of men, they think that, oh, we don't need to because because that's a girl thing to do. Like, nah, brother, that's just a normal human thing to do to try to get better. This next one says, this guy defending the husband stitch. Wait, hold up. This guy defending the husband stitch on Instagram thinks stitches are reversible. Okay, I think this is like a pregnancy thing. I'm not too sure. Maybe. I don't know. Someone comments on an Instagram post says, how is it bad to ask your wife to add something to spice up bedroom life? First of all, stitches are removable. Second of all, it's a question. It's okay if she says no. What? I'm so confused. Context says, putting aside how effed up it is to ask your wife to spice up the bedroom right after she tore her area up to bring in your child into the world. Okay, yeah. Okay, at first I was like, it's not bad to ask them that, but then right after they literally gave birth, yeah. And how effed up it is to ask somebody to modify their body for your pleasure. Yeah. And what the F does this guy mean by stitches are removable? Has this guy ever seen stitches get removed before? Your skin doesn't reopen after they're removed. The whole point of stitches is for them to permanently close wounds, moron. I'm shadow banned. Okay. Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, that's more of a lack of knowledge than anything. The fact that he doesn't understand how stitches work too. Like, that's pretty ignorant. Your very valid points aside, the husband stitch doesn't even tighten the the VU canal. It just makes the opening tighter, and it makes cuddles, I'll have to blur that, painful for the woman. Therefore, she will less likely want to have cuddles in general. IDK how men think this is a good thing for them. Yeah, and you know, I'm gonna go on a limb here and say there's other means to satisfying a guy that doesn't require that. I don't know if this guy knows that. Also, some of the means doesn't even require a woman. I mean, I'm not trying to like say anything, but there's a device that we have on our bodies that can help a guy out, you know? And then there's other devices too. I'm not ashamed to talk about them toys that we got, bro. I'm talking Hot Wheels. I'm talking Power Rangers. No, I'm just playing. All right, this next one says, buying pads and a bra is a sacred tome, divine feminine magic, the ritual between mother and child. Oh, sorry, I read that wrong. Buying pads and a bra is a sacred tome of divine feminine magic. What? Actually, I didn't read that wrong. What the hell is he even talking about? So we got Sebastian Moore here who tweets, first off, you know what? I'm not going to say anything about his profile picture. All right. He tweets out replying to some people saying, the profound intimacy of a mother and child purchasing an initial brazier, who uses that terminology, or sanitary products is a cherished and delicate rite of passage. which should remain undisturbed by the presence of a man dressed in women's clothing. What is your argument? I'm so confused. Are you saying that a mom and their daughter buying Tamps and women products is a rite of passage and it should never be done by a man in women's clothing? What? What about a guy in normal clothing? Like, what if, God forbid, someone's wife passes and then, what do you just don't buy? Like, what? I'm confused. And then what does the clothing have to do with any of this? If a person dresses in women's clothing, we'll give Harry Styles, right? Why can't he teach his daughter about? I'm so confused. What is he trying to get at? This is definitely reaching for some it's one of those things. I forgot the terminology, but when you connect two things that are make no sense at all, and you just do it just to prove a political point or something, it's so silly. Yeah, this guy sounds like he is either one, lazy, doesn't want to learn about women's anatomy, or two, just a bad dude. All right, I don't know. I that was a weird one. Next one says, lady's boss wants her to take out her bikini beach photos. Weird. Why? This borders on harassment. All right, so deli worker posts beach pictures at a deli and they get scolded. What? So she posted beach pictures and then scolded by her boss and you work at a deli and they did that? Yes, the horror of a woman existing in a bikini on her own time. How will the business ever recover? Okay, so Anna here has a situation with her boss. And again, her boss is a lady. Okay, so that's extra interesting. Hi, I see you're scheduled for 4 p.m. shift. We need to talk once you get here. Hello, yes, I'll be in at 4 p.m. Is something wrong? No, but your picture's online. I don't want my employees putting their bodies online. This looks bad for the business. How? How does that look bad for a deli? I'm really confused. I mean, you can make an argument that it looks better for the deli, or just doesn't impact it at all. Because what? That's like estualizing the literal just bikini. You can't go to a beach. You can now you can't. No one who works for me is allowed to go to the beach and post about it. Never. Never go to the beach, never go to a lake, never go to a waterfall. Matter of fact, don't even tan. How dare you show your belly button? What? What kind of deli are you? Is it a church deli? Church's deli? I don't know. Jesus Christ, how dare she be her own private person in her free time? Yeah, for real, what the hell? And I'm curious what the boss looks like. Because now I'm like, what? It really sometimes be your own people that are your ops, man. Women nauseous equals pregnant is the title of this one. So we're talking to someone, and that person says, what are you doing? Going to bed. Let's go for a walk. Nah, I'm nauseous. Oh, you're pregnant? Whoa, that went from 0 to 100. What happened? If someone's nauseous, why do you assume they're pregnant? She goes, yep, congratulations, thanks. You should name him blank if it's a boy. Have you ever been nauseous? Sometimes when I'm drunk, lol. Oh, so you were pregnant? Congratulations. I'm not pregnant, by the way. Literally so annoying that I can't even be sick without being told I'm pregnant by a random man. I'm almost to menopause, thankfully. Oh, wow. That's actually insane. That's just, again, the epitome of not how girls work. That is just pure ignorance. How does this guy... That's crazy. Man, men sometimes, we really just don't know how they work. This is one of those, this is one that always bugs me in fiction. At this point, it's so universal that writers have fully shot themselves in the foot. I read a book last week that had a woman mysteriously throw up about 150 pages before she, surprised, was actually pregnant all along. Readers, no one was effing surprised. Yeah, that's crazy. All right, this one says, I'm tired of people. Can a guy and girl ever just be friends? Yes. I have 5 to actually, that's false. I'm going to say I have 3 really close girlfriends. And then I have 10, 20 platonic girlfriends in general. Some of which are girlfriends of friends, and then some of which are just actual people I've met and have been to school with and stuff like that, and we just kept up to each other, and it's fully platonic friendships too. It's actually important. I think it's very nice. And I don't know if it's the way that I was raised, because I was raised by my sister and cousin who's a girl, but I've always felt like it was imperative for me to have platonic girlfriends, because when you're not clouded by the thoughts of, cuddles and stuff, you actually get to, build a friendship with the other side, and it makes you more comfortable around women in general, and then also get to learn about how they view things. It's so fascinating because in my eyes, it helps a lot with dating because you get to understand like, oh, okay, women, not all women, but like a lot of women see things this way. Okay, it's like, and it's the same thing for them. They usually ask me questions of like, oh, do guys do this? And I'm like, yeah, totally, or no. It's insightful, All right, so anyways, it says, can a guy and girl ever be just friends? And we got a meme here. Hey, male friend, why do you always wear that mask? And the mask says platonic friend. She reaches for the mask and pulls it up, and it says thirsty guy waiting for his shot. Yeah, let's just keep this on. And you know what's funny? This does happen. Not with all guys. I'm going to say I have a couple guy friends who genuinely can have platonic girlfriends. But there are a lot of, creepy crawlers out there that are just platonic friends waiting for their shot, for sure. And then someone says, this happens way too often to the point where I'm almost out of guy friends. Happens twice last year, and it ruined like a 2 or 3 year friendship. Also, not sure blank mods removed this post because of personal check, but whatever. So there's a post where a girl is talking about her 2 friends that wanted more than just friendship, and she add this meme to this post. A guy made a post about how this meme was a generation of men that this world isn't a good place to live in for men anymore. What? And this just became a gender war. With comments that I find sexist and a woman being downvoted for talking about her experience on this topic. That's wild. It keeps going. Okay, here we go. I absolutely effing hate how some women think most men are 24/7 cuddle hungry animals. Hey, male friend, why do you always wear them? Blah, blah, blah. It's just sad. This is someone else posted this. It's just sad that this world ain't a good place for men to live anymore. What? Yes, this gets pretty deep. There's a lot. All right, I'm not going to dive into all those, but yeah, I mean, it's always sad to see. It happens. And a lesson that I can tell guys is, look, if you're going into it's one thing if you develop something later on by accident, like you're in a friendship and, you start to fall for somebody, but that's something that you have to address. You either, hey, do I want to risk this friendship for the rest of my life, or do I just not say anything and just bury it, right? And it's a decision you have to make. But one thing I'll say about getting into something new, if you're getting into something and you're attracted to a girl, you have to tell them. And you have to kind of either set boundaries for yourself even. If I'm attracted to a girl and she wants to just be friends, more times than not, actually every single time, I tell them, that probably won't work for me. Maybe in the future or something, I might. But right now, if I'm attracted to you, I know that's just gonna hurt me if you're only wanting friends out of this. If this is something new, why would I? So I don't even subject myself to that. And it's an abundance mentality of like, there are other women out there. It's not that big a deal. And like, I'll still be like friendly to them. It's not like I'm gonna make them my enemy, because it's just, why would I subject myself to that? And that's just it. That's kind of like holding yourself to a standard, but that's for new things. Obviously, if you're in a friendship and you don't develop feelings or something, that's a whole nother beast. But yeah, this one says, don't scare the horses, and it's possibly satire. So r/no stupid questions. Who is actually against women being topless if they want to be? It has always puzzled me why it is illegal for women to be topless if they want to be, especially in the correct settings like a beach or a pool, or other places where generally it is okay, and for guys to not wear a shirt. Yeah, it is an interesting thing. I don't know where that stemmed from, like historically speaking, because if you think about it, like both guys and girls just be having breasts. And like sometimes, bro, some of those big old boys out there got some bigger freaking, TTs than women that I've met. Like, so like make it make sense, But someone said, my pastor said we would only cover women's breasts in public because God made their areolas to appear like giant eyes to ward off predators. What? Says women usually have larger ones. That's false. I've met some guys that taking their shirts off at the beach, and I'm like, yeah, no. I mean, look at Nick Jonas. This can cause panic and fear in horses. Okay, that's got to be satire. That's funny. That's really funny. Horses. It's always these old guys, ... All right. So we got a post here. We got this dude, and I guess it's according to hip hop, some like rapper or something. 21-year-old Trick Daddy says he's not attracted to women. Oh, it's Trick Daddy. I didn't even recognize him. Holy crap. God, he's getting old. Or I'm getting old, I guess. Okay. A Trick Daddy is a rapper. Okay. 21-year-old Trick Daddy says he's not attracted to women over 35 years old. That's kind of wild. Y'all standards are too high. Y'all are too emotional. Y'all are damaged goods from past relationships. But you could say this about him, right? Or am I tripping? Because he would technically be damaged goods too if he's 51, single, and talking to girls that are young. Like, what? And your standards are too high? Brother, what are you talking about? Translation, the more experienced, confident, intelligent ones won't put up with my childish and abusive BS. Yeah, sounds about right. Oh my God, this one sounds awful. Women are built to be traded, reposted by Elon. Elon Musk reposted this? Are you freaking serious? Okay, let's read this. I am baffled. Dr. Insensitive Jerk says, insightful, women are built to be traded to another tribe or captured. No, they were not built for that. It's just something that guys did. And to think that, okay, this is the whole argument with like people who say things like this. Who can teleport through time to see how we were actually built? No one. Things have just happened because of historically people are cruel and they make things happen for that reason. Like it just happens to be that way. What? And slide seamlessly into their new culture that keeps them safe even though they are physically weak. 20 years after they are captured, they are the matriarchies who enforce that culture. That is why women conform to the dominant culture and therefore amplify that culture. In my opinion, that is why Western women raised in anti-white culture are now amplifying anti-white culture even though they are white. What? This is just reaching for real. They think that it keeps them safe, and they are correct, but only in the short term. In the long term, they will be forced to remember that they are white. Better they are reminded of that by white men, because of the alternative is not so gentle. What are you talking about? Dr. Insensitive Jerk, I don't even know what he's spewing here and like his goal with this. Elon Musk replies and says, they've been programmed to do so by their teachers and the media. What? Women are built. Built by who? The Women Factory? Yeah, that was what I was trying to say. Like, how do they even know how anybody is built? I'm sorry, but if you talk like that, I'll just assume that you're the worst kind of evolutionary denier. Misunderstanding, misrepresenting, and misogynistic, power-hungry, religious nut job. I'll automatically assume the opposite of everything you said is true. Yeah, and like guys like this, right, will be like so will not understand why women don't like what? That doesn't make any fucking sense. I'm so baffled. I'm almost done with this, guys. This stuff already, guys. I'm like torn. We'll do a couple more though. All right, girls don't care about Lord of the Rings. Okay. Girl with a time machine. And so this is a meme. And it says, I'm your granddaughter. Really? Boy with the time machine. The company is called Amazon. Never allowed the rights to Lord of the Rings. Thank you, my boy. Yeah, this is silly. If I'm not mistaken, I've met a lot of women, especially women that are into me, that like Lord of the Rings. So that's a very interesting juxtaposition that this guy's trying to do. And also, I know a lot of guys that would also meet their grandkids. Like I'm your grandson. Yeah, I don't know. That's just weird. This is a stupid meme. Boys with the time machine aren't super fans enough to realize that Tolkien's estate made that decision, not Tolkien himself. Shake my head like, duh. Yeah, facts. Also, if anybody watches South Park, every time I see Tolkien, it's just funny because of Tolkien, the character. I mean, if you know, you know. I'll just leave it at that. All right, I think incels want time machines. Oh, another time machine one. Wow, 2 for 2. He should feel lucky is the statement here. Wow, the thing says conservatives, Republicans only. What a wild subreddit this must be. Yeah. I hate when it's just so one-sided either way, like Republicans or liberals, like Democrats. I said liberals. Democrats, like it's just so interesting. Only is just so what is it called? When you like shelter yourselves from any other viewpoint, it's just so narrow-minded. All right, so we got a guy here saying women seeing a 40-year-old woman dating a 20-year-old boy, and she's happy. And then we have a mad face. Women seeing a 40-year-old old man dating a 20-year-old girl. What? That doesn't make sense either because I think both of those are creepy. No? They're clearly trying to figure out how to go back in time. They have to be. they have to be wanting to get groomed by a woman because they don't understand how grooming and actually works. Somebody please change my mind on this, please, because I don't see any other logical explanation. Okay. Yeah, I don't see this as valid at all because a woman that is 40 years old dating a 20-year-old boy is equally weird. Like, I'm not going to say that it's illegal because technically it's not. But it's weird. Like, I've actually seen memes of this, or not memes. I've seen reels of this on Instagram, where it's a girl who is in her 40s, 30s, and then, or like late 30s, and then it's a guy who's 18. And like, I've actually seen that lately, and it's so weird. I don't like that. I think it's borderline as creepy as the other way around, right? I don't know. At least to me. But I digress. All right, last one we'll do. It says white women not having children is detrimental to society. What? Why just white women? Women not having that? This already doesn't make sense. But let's read it first. All right. So we have a girl who comments on Instagram and says, "But when a man says he doesn't want kids, nobody bats an eye." Dead emoji. Do you genuinely? Someone comments and says, "Do you genuinely know how bad it is for a woman?" Oh wait, hold up. For per society? If too many women decide not to have children, look at South Korea. So, their choice, weirdo. No, it's not their choice. No, what? You can't force women to do anything. What? White women need to start making multiple children like other races also do. It's getting concerning. Wait, I'm confused. Why would he say white women if he just talked about South Korea? The world is very underpopulated when it comes to white people. Where have you been your whole life? What? And listen, I'm not white myself, but imagine your future without white scientists inventing new stuff. It's horrible. And I have the statistics here pulled up. And I mean, if you look at this, right, we have Africans at 14.5%. Or sub-Saharan African specifically. Then we have Northern African at 6%. So if you were to add the African and Western, you were to add those together, we're at 21%. Are African, right? Western Asia, sorry. Southern and Central Asians are 26%. Eastern Asians are 20%. So that would make Asian, if you hold that as a whole, but you shouldn't categorize that because we're also very different. And then there's Southern Asians. And then you have North American and Europeans at 14%. You could also claim that Latin Americans are Australians, we'll say. Australia is pretty low, 38%. But why would white women have to be the one? I'm so confused. Make it make sense, guys. Why would you want just white women? Why not women in general? But then also, the underpopulation argument is so silly because we have a lot of people in this world. You're crazy in general. Like, the world is very underpopulated when it comes to white people. It depends on where you live, I guess. I mean, this guy must be from like Asia or something. And it is genuinely their choice. Like, what are you going to do? Make them have kids? That's crazy. The right women aren't procreating, apparently. Yeah, that was like some inherently racism in this. That's so wild. What the hell did we even read today, guys? I'm done for the day. Yeah, let me know if you guys liked that, enjoyed that. I have some things cooking up. I have a very fun video essay, a longer one that I'm cooking up. And also, if you guys haven't checked it out, I've been posting video essays also on the channel, and they've been doing really well. I'm actually really shocked. Yeah, love you guys so much. If you guys did enjoy this video, make sure you hit the like and the subscribe button. Yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful night. Catch you guys in the next one. Bye.